a lot of different things not that they used to be able to arrest you for. So you never go to jail in the first place. Instead, you can be out working, feeding your family, supporting your community.
Yeah. So if I could tell my story, LC, I'm from Philadelphia, 400-500 murders a year. My dad got killed in South Philadelphia. So, at the age of 18, like just the way I live from seeing murder on a daily basis, knowing my dad got killed in the neighborhood, I always just knew in my mind I needed to carry a firearm to protect myself because that was actually necessary. My hood was like Friday the 13th every night, and that was the environment. So that's the measures I had to take to survive in those areas. So I got arrested, and when I got arrested, when I got to the police station, I had about 30 charges, and I didn't know what the charges was. I was an 18-year-old kid. I went in front of a bail judge. He basically judged me as if I already committed the crime. He basically said, "Oh, you pointed a gun at a Philadelphia police officer, your bail $250,000." So when he said that, I tried to speak back, and they told me I could not speak back to the cop that was in the room because I was trying to tell him like I ain't pointing a gun at the cop. So that led to me doing time in prison and getting sentenced to 11 and a half to 23 months. I think 11 years probation. So through my 11 years of probation, I want to tell you, LT, I'm from Philadelphia, like where it's kind of hard to even be an angel if you come from my background. So, I never danced on the law. I never broke laws, especially as an adult from 18 years on out. I've been living like a straightforward life. And through my life of just dancing on the line, because I am young and black and I'm not perfect, but dancing on the line of not committing crime, they sent me back to prison 3 or 4 times without actually breaking a law, without actually doing anything that could disrupt society. And me, I value myself so low at the time. I always grew up in the system since the age of 18. I always thought that was normal. But when I was in prison, sometimes I just couldn't sit with the fact that I was sitting with people that actually did crimes and people who didn't do crimes, like the technical violators. And I was a technical violator most times. I would tell you, I'm a monster. Like, I try to make it through anything. I'm from North Philly, been in South Philly my whole life. I never really looked for sympathy. I just knew I had to do what I had to do, and I never thought we'd have a day like this where I could actually talk to people who are in power, officials who actually are thorough people with character. And, that technical violation thing the judge was doing with me brought me back to prison 3 or 4 times. And I had a different background through a different backing through coming to celebrity and the people that I know and my, my resources. So it was a little different for me, and I actually had lawyer money to actually back me up. But I always thought about the young guys and the young brothers that come up like me who don't have those things. So when I seen people come out in Philadelphia and stand up for me and march for me, that just made me know I needed to dedicate a piece of my life to helping people get back and not go through what I went through. Like a lot of people say, they only hear us talking about people getting out of prison, but we talking about people who don't belong in prison, people who are trying to rehabilitate their lives and move on to that next stage of their life if they did commit a crime. And once I got out, I linked with Michael Rubin, Jay, the Reform Group, everybody, Jessica Jackson. And, the support was unbelievable how they were supporting me. So, I wanted to put that on the ground and really make sure that worked for the people, our people, actually. Black and brown people go to jail at an alarming rate. Most prisons I've been at, 25% of the prisons were just technical violations. People smoke weed, people using drugs, addicted to drugs. And, I just always knew that wasn't right. So being here today, LT, I'm just glad that I get this opportunity to be a part of it. I don't care if I was the one that had to go through some little rough shit to help thousands or millions of others. Just knowing that we don't have cats, that now we'll have cats on probations where people can't just take their freedom at the drop of a button. I call it death by paper. Yeah. Because we always talk about, like, if one cop kill a black man, I think more about the courtrooms where people get killed on paper on a daily basis. And I just always kept that in the back of my mind. And the situation landed in my lap. I think it's God that put it in my lap, and I'm just going to own it. I always tell people I'm going to remain a rapper. I'm going to remain Meek Mill. I ain't going to be breaking the laws, but I'm going to I'm gonna own reform. I'm gonna make sure the voice spreads as far as it can. If, for brothers like you who really put in a lot of work that's in those offices, I make sure I use my platform to push y'all away so we can keep this thing, keep it going from state to state and make real change.
No doubt, man. I mean, that's what leadership is all about, man. I just really appreciate you for being willing to tell your story and for really making sure that people know that there is a path and that there are people fighting, there are people like you working in states all across the country. And, you know, you talk about you from Philly, I'm from the east side of Detroit. Like, I hear you in terms of stuff being really real, you know, where we come from. And even to make sure, though, that there's a path, and even if you make a mistake, something else we did in Michigan is even if you have something on your record, we made it so that parts of your work can be automatically cleared, you know, after a certain amount of time, so you can have full access to be your best self and live out your dreams. I mean, you care about getting out our dreams, right? And living out your dreams and being able to be a full person, participate in the economy, you know, do whatever you start a business, whatever you want to do. And that has been something that's been holding people back. And especially something else that we did in this whole bill package, Meek, is, you know, I know when you went to jail, you were in jail for months before you had a trial. And in Michigan, more than half of the people who are in jail are there without even having a trial. And that's basically locking people up, separating them from their family. They can't work, they can't provide. And it's just really disrupting your life. And you literally haven't been charged with anything. That is wrong. And so we're trying to end that in Michigan. And I think if we can end it in Michigan, we can end it across the country. And so we're trying to show leadership like that. And I think people like you, the Reform Alliance, are using your platform, Jay, Van, Jessica, Ruben, the whole crew really just putting all these resources behind this movement. That's how we're going to make change. The movement can be so big and so strong, nobody can stop it.